I'm EmmaKate Austin, and you're watching To The Point. Let's check in with our local NHL teams, two of whom continue to trend upwards while one is struggling. Remember early in the season when Devils fans were calling to fire head coach Lindy Ruff? That seems like a long time ago now. But one offseason move that not a lot of people seem to be talking about is the fact that the Devils brought in Andrew Brunette as an assistant coach. After a few seasons behind the Minnesota Wild bench as an assistant and eventually a stint as the team's assistant GM, Brunette was brought to Florida as part of Joel Quenneville's staff. He became the Panthers' interim head coach after Q resigned, and he led the Panthers to the President's Trophy and was a finalist for the Jack Adams Award. But instead of naming him head coach, the Panthers brought in former Winnipeg Jets coach Paul Morris. Brunette decided to leave Florida for an assistant coach position with the Devils, and New Jersey fans have to be thrilled that he did. The Devils are currently the best team in the NHL with 41 points and a record of 24-1. This week, New Jersey has just 2 games on the slate, a matchup with the lowly Chicago Blackhawks on Tuesday, and will face the New York Islanders at home on Friday. And speaking of the Islanders, they're coming off a 3-0 shutout of the Blackhawks, the first shutout of the season for backup goalie Semyon Varlamov. The Isles have an enviable goaltending duo with Varlamov and Ilya Sorokin. The team's lineup is a bit banged up with forward Kyle Palmieri on IR and Cal Clutterbuck out, but that matters a lot less when you have great goalies backing you up. Before taking on the Devils, the Islanders will face the St. Louis Blues at home on Tuesday. And now the Rangers, the New York Rangers. Not really sure what's happening there, but they don't look like a team that made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last season. They have just 11 wins this season and are coming off a 5-2 loss to the Blackhawks. You can't call yourself a good team if you're losing to squads like Chicago and Anaheim. But fans have to realize that it was going to be next to impossible for some of these guys to replicate the career years they've had. They had a Vezina winner in goal, and forward Chris Kreider scored 52 goals last season. A lot of their players just don't seem to be putting up the numbers, including the captain Jacob Trouba, who hasn't scored a goal yet this season. Blackhawks forward Andreas Athanasiou called Trouba out after Saturday's game, saying Trouba is out there, quote, almost trying to hurt people. He's an $8 million man with 0 goals. If you can't help the team, I guess you try to hurt the guys on the other team. Yikes. Next up for the Rangers is a home game against the Blues Monday night, followed by a road trip that will take them to Vegas and then Colorado. Now let's turn to the rest of the league. Last week, we were wondering if Mitch Marner would be able to break the Maple Leafs franchise record for longest point streak, and he's done it. His current point streak is now at 19 games, and it's the longest active point streak in the league. Marner scored a shorty in the Leafs' 4-3 overtime loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning, and after the game, Marner said reaching the milestone is cool. I grew up in the city, he said. It's special growing up to watch this team play hockey. Now to have my name on something amazing, it's hard to describe. Marner has now collected at least 1 point in 24 of 26 games this season. He'll go for game number 20 when the Leafs take on the Dallas Stars on Tuesday night. And the Dallas Stars have their own star to keep an eye on. Winger Jason Robertson is an early candidate for the Hart Trophy and leads the league in goals with 23. He's third in points with 41 and is part of the reason why Dallas currently sits in first place in the Central Division. Robertson was named the NHL's first star of November and third star this week. He's on an 18-game point streak, which is 2 away from the Stars' franchise record. While the Stars lost Sunday's game against the Minnesota Wild, they proved they have what it takes to come back from just about anything. Dallas was down 5-1 before scoring 4 unanswered goals and sending the game to a shootout. And speaking of the Minnesota Wild, things seem to be clicking in the state of hockey since trading for Ryan Reeves. Minnesota is 4-1 since adding him to the lineup, and he brings an energy and toughness this team desperately needed. And that brings me to my moment of the week. So after the Wild somehow pulled out that win against the Stars, Reeves did an interview shirtless, snacking on pizza. You may remember earlier this season when Reeves viciously fought Wild forward Marcus Foligno when he was still with the Rangers, but now the two seem to be buds, and during his post-game interview, Foligno brought Reeves a slice of pizza, and Reeves continued to carry on. I guess 4 straight wins calls for a pizza party. Thanks for watching this edition of To The Point, and I'll catch you on the next shift.